Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before I get started with today's video, give this video a huge thumbs up, consider subscribing, and also if you guys do shop on Amazon, please check out my Amazon affiliate link down below as it helps out the channel at no cost to you. Moving on, in today's video we will be doing a suspension overhaul on my BMW e46. We will be replacing the struts with Bilstein B4 struts. Now, I already have done the back a while ago because one of my struts were leaking. Now we're going to do the front, and I'm just gonna bring you guys along on the journey. So giving an overview of the parts that we have two struts. These were slightly used, but they're Bilstein B4s. I didn't want to go coilovers. I wanted something that's a little stiffer than stock, but we'll also add a little bit of a sporty drive to it. We have these strut top mount supports, I think they're called, and these should definitely be replaced. We also have these little dust covers that we got all new of these. I think they're called like shims, but they're these rubber pieces to stop the coils from making noises. We have new bolts for the top where it mounts, some washers. These are the new perches that we got, and here are the bump stops that we also got. So we're going to be installing all this in today's video, and it's not going to be a full DIY, but just kind of showing over the process, and any spots that we do get stuck I will show. Another thing is, look, right now I have two different struts. So look, see how I can fit basically two fingers right here? Let me show you guys the other side. It's much bigger. The gap is much bigger on the other side. Sorry, the gap is actually smaller on the left side, so I can fit almost like, I can only fit like, I can kind of fit two, but more one. And on the other side I can fit like straight two fingers. So one of these struts were already replaced, so I have two different struts on it. So that's what we're going to also fix today. So I'll have two of the same matching struts. All right, we're gonna start by jacking up the car, taking off the wheel, and taking off the three top mounts. So I don't know if you guys can see because you're on our tripod, but these are some cheap Chinese struts. They're auto part at International. I don't even know what these are. They seem very ghetto, so hopefully, or these Bilstein ones should be much better. So now we're gonna take off the top. They look like they're 313mm nuts.
Yep. So you do need new ones though.
Guys, quick note, if you're having trouble getting the sway bar links out, jack up the other side of the car, because the car was sitting like this and then we leveled it out. Another thing, if you're doing this job, don't be stupid like me and buy the sway bar end links. They're pretty cheap off FCP Euro. I completely spaced on that and didn't buy them. So that's definitely something good to replace when you are doing a suspension upgrade or replacing your struts. So for a quick update, we got the top bolts off. We got the bolt down here that holds it into the collar, except it's kind of stuck in, and we're gonna try to use a jack. We've been hitting it, as you saw, and that didn't really knock it out. So we're gonna use a jack and try to jack up the actual strut and see if that allows it to come loose for us to pull it out. Alright, so we finally got the strut out. It ended up being a little more difficult. We had to take the knuckle off the control arm that's attached to allow this whole assembly over here to come down enough because we just weren't having enough room. So now is the fun part. We get to compress these struts and take off the coils because we're reusing the actual coil. Alright, so we are now going to compress the springs with these really janky tools, but it's like the best we have. So basically you find a spot to put it on and you compress it. You go from one side, bounce back and forth, and that's kind of how it works. So we're gonna do that now. Alright, so as you saw, we were able to put the spring, we were able to compress the new spring and put my old coil on it, so we are now going to install the new Bilstein B4 strut. Alright, so I figured I'd give you guys an update. We finally got the new strut back in, and it was a royal pain in the ass. Honestly, I think it could be an issue with my control arms, but the control arm wouldn't allow this whole assembly to drop down enough to actually be able to pull out the strut. So we had to remove the ball joint on the back of the knuckle, let that down, but then we're still didn't have enough room, so we had to actually take off the caliper, and oh my god, you probably saw we spent quite a bit of time trying to do that, but now we're going to screw in the bolt, screw in the nut for the control arm, and put the caliper back on, and that should wrap up this side. It's like Monsters truck status. What's going on?
What's that supposed to say?
No, it's gonna settle a little bit, right? That's 4 fingers. That's still like...
That looks about right.
Still a pretty big gap, but... Alright guys, so we now have the strut installed on this side. It's been a bit of a process. The car does sit up a little higher. We're not sure if it's because the other side wasn't done or it still needs to settle. I don't know if it's just how the B4s maybe sit up a little, or my old suspension because it was some cheap aftermarket struts. That's how they sat. But we are going to move on to the next side, and then I'll close out the video. I'm probably not going to show the next side, but I'll close out the video in a little. So we're finally done with the job. This is my old strut. Guys, I compressed it and I just like pushed down on it. It's not even returning to its position. It's been sitting like this for probably half an hour and still has not returned to its position. So let me show you guys how my car sits now. So my car is definitely sitting up a little higher on the B4s, and I think it's just because the struts were so gone. I don't know if I necessarily like the struts, maybe lowering springs in the future or something, just because the car does sit a little high, but I'm sure it's going to drive much better because as you saw, the other one just would not go back up. It just stayed compressed. So here's a look at this side. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed us installing new struts on my car. As you probably saw, and I probably mentioned this earlier, that we had a lot of trouble. You're supposed to be able to just take out the bolt that's at the knuckle and the 3 top ones in the sway bar link, and it should just pop out. However, my control arm wasn't going far enough down that we actually had to take the knuckle off the control arm. Now, I don't know if this is like this for everyone. I looked up some DIYs on this and I didn't see anything about that. No one had to remove that knuckle where the control arm meets, so definitely maybe a limitation with my control arms, but something to look out for if you're tackling this job. So I hope you guys enjoyed us upgrade the suspension on my BMW e46. If you guys have any questions at all, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're new for more BMW related content. Also, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, please check out my Amazon affiliate link linked down below if you guys shop on Amazon, as it helps out the channel at no cost to you. That is all I have for today's video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.